as usual, and I'll share my screen. But welcome everyone to the Successfit team call. We are going to talk, it is November 25th. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. And we are going to talk today all about time optimization, I guess is the way I've tried to label it. And I'm clearly not sharing my screen yet, so just give me a second here. Oh, there we go. Share screen. Sorry, I was having some trouble with that. Okay. So, as always, I have a little bit of recognition I want to go through tonight. And we have a good chunk of people on our team, which is amazing, that have already, entered the 3 Lives Club and hit Success Club this month. So big shout out to everyone there. And I know that a lot of people are super close. So I do just want to encourage you to, if ever it's close to the end of the month and I haven't reached that goal, because it's such an important goal, it's got to be one of those goals, I think, in your business. If you're really growing and you're really wanting this to be something for you, I think it's got to be one of those goals that's a no matter what goal for you. So if you haven't reached that, I really encourage you to take advantage of the promotions and make sure that you are just putting out another invite, doing a last call and really just inviting people from your heart and letting them know why you think they should join your next group. It's not uncommon for me to just throw out a last call group or try to run it with someone else. So make sure that you're pushing for that goal. Push yourself on that one. Weekly volume leaders this week, Larissa, Erica, Shima. It's a great week for you guys, which is awesome. And I know I wrote 9 new coaches in Successfit this week, but I think we, as of a few minutes ago when I looked, we have 12 actually, which is really awesome. So just a reminder, if you're a new coach watching, or if you have these new coaches, make sure you're getting them to start in that sort of new coaches start here pinned post in Successfit. I think it's a really, I tried to do my best to streamline that as start here, make sure you go through all of these things, and then you can work with your upline sponsor coach in getting started right properly. So make sure that's where you're pointing people. It's designed for that. Okay, quick announcements. Tuesday is the Hammer and Chisel launch. And if you haven't been through a launch before, it's usually anytime between noon and 3 p.m. Eastern, so 9 and noon Pacific, where it actually goes live. And it's not like we get a big announcement. You kind of have to just keep checking, or you might hear from other coaches that it's live. But here's how I like to work it. Is I have anyone that I have invited to my event. So if you haven't created an event, it is not too late. Get your event out tonight, tomorrow at the latest. Get an event out and invite as many people as you can. And for anyone who expresses interest or says they want to come to the event, I'm messaging them, asking them if they know much about it, and I'm happy to share my script. So if you want to know what I'm saying to people, let me know. I will send you everything I have, absolutely. But I'm as I take people through that invitation process, it's finishing with the understanding that on December 1st, I'm going to message them when it goes live so they can order that day. That's always the way I try to funnel people. So just a reminder on that, dive into Hammer and Chisel launch. It's there. Make sure you're knowing it well enough to know why you're excited about it and share it. And then, of course, the shipping delays I do need to talk about, because I know that we're all feeling a little bit of pain from that. I certainly have customers and coaches with a lot of delays. It looks like it is getting better. That's what I'm seeing. Anyone I have who's ordered recently, it seems no problem. But I do, I think it's important, one, that we try to take control of it ourselves as coaches. I think these things unfortunately happen. Here's what I know. I know that if it has taken longer than 2 weeks, you got to get in there. So make sure you're taking a look at your customer orders and that you're checking the tracking. And if your customer has not received it, or if you have a coach in your downline that's not received and it's been 2 weeks, call coach relations, get on them about it, because I think they really want to try to help and fix it, but obviously things have slipped through the cracks. So today I was promised that people can get expedited shipping, and that they can get almost like an apology gift of a super sampler. Obviously, I haven't seen that officially delivered, but I know that that's an option. So make sure you're pushing coach relations on that those are possibilities. And I think sometimes that's all you need to do, is know what's possible, and then talk to them about working together to get to that possibility, so that it's a calm and positive conversation, and that you guys feel like you're on the same side. But sorry, I know, I know I'm not the company, and I know none of you are the company, and so we feel the heat from some of that, but we are representatives of it. So let's do our best to try to make this as smooth of a transition as possible. Okay, let's dive in. So optimization. I wanted to do this call because I found over the last 2 years, there were times where it would, I would feel very like the business was controlling me. And I don't know if you felt that already, where it was like, I have to be home to post, or I have to wake up early to post to my groups, I'm on vacation or whatever it is. And it starts to wear you down a little. I think you can start to lose a little love sometimes for the business, or maybe resent it a little bit, or maybe you have a partner or someone else in your life who's like, is it always going to be like this, where you have to post to social media and those types of things? So I wanted to address that today because I have finally pushed myself enough, and these things have been there for a long time. So some of you guys might already know about them, but I finally pushed myself enough to start using them. And it's kind of like, I should have been using this a long time ago. So that's what I'm doing tonight, is I'm pushing you guys to make these things happen for you, and you're going to thank me. Because this opportunity really is about life by design. Like, I know that you're creating a business, so it's not convenient all the time. There's hard things you have to push yourself through and do. But at the end of the day, you're trying to create something that works into your life as best as possible. So it should not be controlling you. And I'm a big fan of learning to work smarter, not harder. Again, like, the beauty in this business is that even as a big top coach, like in 2 to 3 hours a day, you should be able to generate an amazing business. And we just need to make sure we're working smarter, not harder. And then one last tip I just want to put on optimization that I learned. I listened to a really great Chalene Johnson podcast this week, where she's talking about, when it comes to marketing out on social media, which is what some of these time-saving tips are going to be about, quality is, I'm just going to mute you guys. I'm sorry. I feel like there's a bit of feedback, and I don't mind, but, oh, you guys did it for you. I'm just worried about the recording. She talked about, although we think and quality is really important, the quality of our content in social media, frequency and consistency is actually equally as important. So no, I don't think you should just throw out like a totally pointless post, but I think it is really important that people are seeing you frequently and consistently. That's what's going to get your tribe engaged and following you and counting on you being someone that they can always go to for interesting tips or advice or something funny or whatever it is that you are, whatever it is that you offer to them. So on that note, because we don't want to be a slave to our social media all the time, the first thing I want to share with you guys tonight that I dragged my heels on for a long time was Hootsuite. Okay, Hootsuite is a free, like, third-party poster, and it's got a lot of things that can actually do for you. But on a very simple, basic level, I think everybody needs to go to Hootsuite.com, choose the free option. There's other options. And with the free option, what Hootsuite will allow you to do is choose 3 different, like, either social media platforms or like your groups in Facebook, for example. But for free, it'll allow you to choose 3 different things and schedule out all your posts. So literally what I do now is, because I use the majority of my social media posting is on my Facebook like page, and there's scheduling on there. So I don't use that one in Hootsuite, but I always have it like a 21-day fixed group pretty much running, or my free groups, or any of those groups. Whenever they're about to start, I load them up for the 30 days, set it for like 5:30 a.m. and out it goes. And I don't have to wake up and be the one posting. And then it's always consistent for my challengers, and I'm not feeling like I have to be a slave to that. So it does, it's going to take you 20 minutes or so at the beginning of a month or at the beginning of a challenge group, but then it's in and it's there. And you can use Hootsuite for other things like your Facebook page if you really wanted, or, I found it to be the most helpful when it comes to my groups. So I'm going to share that. I think I have to stop share and go over somewhere else here quickly to share my page, but I just wanted to push you guys to take a look at it. Where are we? Here we go. Because when you go to Hootsuite, this is what it looks like, and you create a free account. Again, like, you can add, it's really simple. All you need to do is you'll start by adding a social network. So for me, I only really add Facebook. Like, that's the majority of where I work from. I try to use Facebook to push it into other areas, but that's my main social media outlet right now. So I'll add Facebook, and obviously you have to okay them. You have to choose. You want to make sure that you're connecting your profile, your page, your business page, which is the pages, and your groups, because the beauty in it, I think for us as coaches, is really in your groups. But you have options here. So anyway, you'll connect with Facebook on those things. It's going to kind of take me through. I'm not going to do it because I don't know that you'll see everything, but you're going to connect. And then what you'll find is over here, keeping it really simple, you're going to get to add a stream. You'll click on this add a stream. It's not going to let me do anything because I haven't loaded anything up in this. It's a fake account. But when you add your stream, you can choose the group that maybe you've created. Here's the tip I want to give you that you probably want to write down. If you're doing it for your Facebook groups, the ones that your private groups, your challenge groups, the group cannot be called a private group. You have to put it as a closed group. I guess it could be public too, but that's not private for your challengers. So if it's a challenge group and you want to use Hootsuite, you need it to be a closed group and not a private group. But that's how I use it best, is I will take it and I will use it for my 30-day challenge group, for my free group, and then also for, sometimes I'll do it for a training group like an Emerald to Diamond or Coach Basics, but certainly for a sneak peek. So like whatever 3 groups I have going on right now, I have all of the posts loaded up for the 5, 7, 30 days. And then I know that every morning at 6 a.m. or whatever it is, those are going out and I don't even have to think about it. And that has been massive for me. It frees up so much more time in the morning for me because that's when I like to post and I don't have to think about that and worry about that. But I know that you can also use it as a way to post to your personal Facebook page because there is no auto scheduling on that. So for me, when I use my like page at the beginning of my power hour, I actually, I will schedule my posts for the rest of the day. So there's going to always be one that runs around midday and one in the evening. So I don't have to think about what else I'm going to post for the rest of the day. But you can actually, in Hootsuite or also on your like page, you can post out, as long as you need to. And then it automatically sends out quality content consistently and frequently. So that's a big tip that I want to push you guys on. And I really encourage you at the end of this call to make sure you block schedule off like an hour over the next week to get into Hootsuite and, load up your scripts or whatever you're using. And if you're like me, I think why I dragged my heels for so long, one, like having to learn something new seemed frustrating, but it's really easy. And two, I hadn't actually put all of my scripts necessarily in a Word document. All I had been doing, like for my challenge group scripts, like prep day all the way to day 30, I had just been kind of copying and pasting from old groups. And that is not helpful because then I can't give that to my challenger or my coaches and everything. And what you want to do as a coach is making sure that you are duplicatable. So start creating a document where you're putting in everything from prep week to day 30 of your challenge groups or whatever that is. And now you can load them up into Hootsuite and take a big chunk of space off of your plate. You still need to, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What about if you're co-coaching? Like both of my challenge groups, I'm co-coaching. Can you schedule it for every other day?
Yes.
No?
Yep. Yeah. You can customize it down to anything.
No, I like it. Especially when I get irritated. No, I like hard.
I think we've got some background here. Does that make sense? I'm just gonna. Erica, does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Got a nod. Good. Okay. So so that's Hootsuite. Any other questions specific to Hootsuite?
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
I kind of steered away from it because I don't like how it shows that you're posting from Hootsuite. Like I feel like it's authentic in a group, like you're not really in the group with them.
I understand. And I think that was something that I felt as well. I just make sure that I also check in. So it's like I have this auto post and then I know like when I'm done my workout, I'm checking it. Like I still make sure part of my power hour every day is checking into my groups personally to comment on the post myself or respond to people. And I haven't noticed a change in interaction that way. I think what they look for is that auto post from me.
Okay. No, that makes sense and takes the stress off when you have that one.
Yeah. because I have heard people say that in the past, like be present in your groups. And I think the most important thing is not that necessarily, like the post that we put out there to people is really important. And the regularity of it, I think, is really important so that they can count on it and feel like they have to be held accountable to it. But it's almost like the relationship building that happens in between and feeling like they're a part of something, I think, is really what is most impactful. So you have to show up in it later, but that's been my experience. I would try it. Push yourself to try it and see what you think. Anyone else have any other questions on Hootsuite? Okay, so the other one that has been huge for me, I think, is called, I guess I'll go back to it's a lot of screen sharing today. Sorry. All right, let me just go back and I'll screen share really quickly here. Okay. So that's Hootsuite, as I said. Remember, for free, you get 3 streams, and that seems to be enough. Okay, the other one that, and I know I mentioned this a long time ago in Successfit when I first discovered it. It's called IFTTT, if this, then that. And it is like a website, so you just go to it. And again, it's free, completely free. And it's ifttt.com. But what it allows you to do is create recipes that make sense for you. So in other words, like if I post on my Facebook like page, then that post will automatically go to my blog, for example. Or if I post on Instagram, then that post will automatically go to my like page. And I love that because although there are certain times, like I know on Instagram, I can automatically push my post to Twitter, for example, and push my post over to Facebook. It doesn't allow me to push to my like page. And since that is where I'm driving business now, is to my business page, that's been a really big one for me. Now, I'm going to show it to you, but I think it's great for a lot of reasons. And I mean, I think we need to be aware of what it is, but let me just screen share to a different page, but write that one down. If this, then that. Hang on here. I got to make sure I'm on the right page. Sorry, guys. It's a lot of, as I said, okay, here we go. So you just go to the website. Again, it's another thing where you create a free account, but here's what happens. I can go to my recipes and you can browse recipes, like they've got them set up. But for me, what I've done, and they're unlimited, you can do as many as you need. I know that if I post on Instagram, then automatically that post, and you can decide, like if I post a picture, but not a video, or if I post, like you can actually define things down even smaller. But if I make a post on Instagram, then automatically that post gets pushed to my like page, which is great because then I don't have to copy and paste it. And it might just seem like a small thing, but it saves me a lot of time. And the same thing for me. I don't actually have an active blog. I stick to the majority of my posting to Facebook Business, but I have my blog, or my website is with Weebly. And so if I post anything I post on my social media Facebook page will automatically go to a blog section of my Weebly. So it's like there's automatically a streaming effect happening there. If people go to my website, there is blog action happening. So it doesn't look like I haven't been there in forever. And I kind of haven't. And as I said, you can kind of break it down to like if it's a new photo or if it's a video or just a link that I'm posting in any of those, then automatically that's going to share. So I think that's really effective, again, because it's hard for us to know all of the social media outlets. Like for me, I think the biggest part of my day is often spent either responding to messages or like creating content and getting it out into social media. And although I do think like there are more accurate ways to post specifically to Instagram versus Twitter versus Facebook, I think just being out there, kind of like what Shalene was saying, is more important right now until you have the time to do that a little bit. So I encourage you to use this one. It's really, really easy to use. But like, for example, so you can do recipes for Androids or for Macs, and it actually can go right down into Dropbox things. Like if I create a video on my like page, it automatically gets saved into my Dropbox. Like little things like that that I think are really, really, really helpful for long-term effectiveness. And putting things out. So I encourage you on that one, and you can browse them as well. Like these are just the recipes I've created, but let me see. There are some like people's favorite recipes. Okay.
Priya,
Yeah.
is there a way to, maybe this is not it, but like instead of posting on your like page and then sharing it to Facebook, is there a different way to do that from this or no?
Yeah. Like if I post to my like page, it'll automatically post to your Facebook page. So you don't actually have to share it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that here.
So this will do that. Okay, cool.
I don't know why I'm having trouble. I feel like I need to get back published. So there are actual pre-recipes, or you can like literally browse more recipes. You can create your own recipes. But here we go. So like recommend. So they give some that are already set in stone, like everything from like if I post on Facebook, then automatically it goes to Twitter. So these are ones that are already there, but you can create your own recipe based on what you need. As long as they have this, like if I post on Instagram, it automatically goes here. And that's a really key one I find, because with Instagram, it's still new. So it's not automatically sharing to things very well. So yeah, I found this one really helpful because now I don't have to think about posting so many places. My morning went from like taking me an hour and a half to like more of a half an hour kind of thing. I just post to, I respond to a few messages if I can, and I like do my morning post, and then I can kind of move on to my day. Good.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
And one of the things, and I'm a little confused, but I believe that like Instagram, I'm not sure if it's Instagram, doesn't interact so well with Facebook. Was that one of the, like you can't post from Instagram to Facebook, or, it sort of gets put down in terms of the feed?
Right. I haven't noticed it be too, in terms of going from Instagram to my personal, but you're right. That's a good point. That might happen from time to time. So I try more to post to the opposite way because Facebook's my main source of marketing. So like when I post pictures on Facebook, my Facebook like page, I push that to my Instagram as opposed to the other way around, because I don't think it matters as much on Instagram.
Okay. And then the other thing is, are you suggesting if this then that instead of Hootsuite, like as an alternative to Hootsuite, or?
No, these are something that I use like as complementary things. So Hootsuite is my way of like, I use Hootsuite more to auto post to my groups, but you might choose to use it to auto post to your social media. I use it as a way to post to my groups because I often have several. But if this and that, I just think is a great way to push things. So you could actually, let's say, use Hootsuite to schedule out posting on Facebook for a month. You could, and then use if this then that to make a recipe that just says, if I post on Facebook, it automatically shoves to Instagram. So then in one sort of focus between creating Hootsuite, it's like pushing everything out between the two channels.
Okay. And so by that, every day you'll have the same post, say going to your Facebook, then to Instagram. Can you schedule the post so that your post on Facebook today goes to Instagram tomorrow?
I don't know. I don't think that. No, I think it's pretty instant.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And it is really simple. Like I always get really intimidated by these things, but when I go in and just fiddle with it for a minute, it's like especially with if this and that, it's literally like you click on this social media channel, you want like the little Instagram channel, and then you click on the next one, and it's a very simple, what they call recipe. Okay. But I think just like getting your name and your face out there right now as you're kind of growing and is really key in the consistency. Okay. Any other questions on if this and that?
I just had one question too. I've used it a bit, and I was having sometimes with the text. Does your text all go over fine? Like when I Instagram to Facebook and the text wouldn't come, it would just be the photo.
It would just be the photo. I'll have to take a look at that. I haven't found that too much, but I did in the beginning there. I found that a little bit with my blog. It was a bit confusing. So I had to mess around with the way it went. So let me take a look at that and maybe we can have a convo on it.
Facebook like page to Instagram, and you don't have any issues with that?
Yeah, I have no issues with that one. Yeah. Good. Okay. So, all right. So I think those were sort of my main two ones, but just a couple others I wanted to, let me go back to I don't know why I'm having a hard time remembering. Oh, there's my share screen. Okay, so honestly, those two things alone have been massive time savers. And then of course, the next one, I know we did a whole session on Streak and Snippets. I really think Streak, I think Hootsuite especially and Streak are things that we need to be teaching our brand new coaches. Like, it's a really easy way for people to be keeping track, and it's a really easy way for them to, be on top of things. And these snippets that Larissa and I put out, I think for me, they've been so massively helpful. I can literally take someone through an invitation process in a really genuine way, like in one day. I think one of the things that I used to get overwhelmed by was if I had a launch event like this one, I would literally send out 40 to 60 invites to people. And then I had an inbox of 30 messages, and it was just really overwhelming. And so I wouldn't even want to go to those messages, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say to these people. And the snippets I find have been really helpful to just kind of stream that. Obviously I need to read and think about each person as I go through. But for the most part, what I'm trying to get, the information that I'm trying to share with them to understand whether it's an option is so cut and paste. It's really a simple thing to share. So I have found that has been really huge. So if you haven't loaded up those snippets that we shared, and they're in the Successfit files in a Google Doc, you just kind of need to cut and paste them as you like them. And again, it's just one of those things like these others that it's just going to take a half an hour to an hour one day, and then it's going to make the rest of your life so much easier. So take a look at the snippets at what we've already created, use what you like and what works for you, and then make your own on the other ones that you don't. But again, it's one of those things that I think particularly with Hootsuite, it was Larissa who was like, you just need to do this. Why are you being so, why are you not doing this? And I was kind of like, oh. And so when I just went and did it, I was like, I can't believe I haven't been doing this. It's so much easier. So that's what I want to try to impress upon you guys through this session is sometimes we need to just put the big girl pants on and try something new or do it. And you'll be amazed at how much further it pushes you into your business. So my third tip is the snippets. Get on those snippets. They've been massive for me in terms of recruiting and in terms of taking people through the invitation process in a really kind and genuine way. Okay, the last thing I want to run through is the COO training, the Coach Online Office training. I am working on streamlining our training because I know that the Coach Online Office can be a little bit overwhelming, especially for new coaches. So ideally, I'm going to create a Successfit Google Drive where it's that is all. I'm going to erase all the files in Successfit, and it'll just be this Google Drive and maybe our team calls. And then people can kind of go in and be like, this is where you go if you're a coach. This is where you go if you're an Emerald coach, just to kind of really make it simple there for people. But until I get that organized and streamlined for everyone, I really encourage you to go to the Coach Online Office training section. They've basically already done that for you. No, it doesn't have scripts and as much personalization as what I'm hoping to offer. But if you haven't done those sections for yourself, I really think you need to. You need to make sure that you are being the CEO and in charge of your own training, that you have gone through each of these sections on your own and genuinely given them a shot to see if they work for you, or taking what works for you, because you need to share these systems with your coaches as they come on. And they're really good they're really good systems. And I just think sometimes everything is already there out in front of us, and we just need to kind of take the steps to walk through it. So until I make the streamlined training, which hopefully will be a little bit nicer on the eyes and just maybe easier for people to go through in one simple place of Successfit, I really think that as leaders, we need to make sure that we're going to this training section, that we're understanding what's there for our team, and that we're offering it to them. So that's sort of my fourth optimization tip is make sure that you have gone through that you understand that what is offered there, because it's good quality stuff, and that you've done it yourself to know, to learn what you need to learn in order to be a leader. And that, I think, is really it for tonight. I think, before I kind of offer up, before I stop the sharing and offer up some question and answers, I think that I know that, let's see, at the beginning of this year in January, I went to a leadership retreat for the Fierce Fit Phenomenon Leadership Retreat. And I remember Doug Moss, who's one of the corporate guys, saying, like, in the beginning, this is it's a very simple game of chess. Checkers. All you really need to be doing is focusing on helping 3 people a month, hit Success Club, and focus on adding a couple people to your team. Like, those are the only things you really need to focus on. Get really good at doing those 2 things. And then the rest, yes, it can evolve into more of a game of chess, like where there's a bit more strategy. But at the end of the day, all we're doing is trying to help 3 people a month and trying to add people to our team. And then we teach them the exact same. And if you can get really good at those 2 things, then it's going to be easy for you to teach that to the people that come onto your team. And that's all you really need to do. It's time. And that's sort of the honest part about this, is that real honest weight loss and real honest healthy living doesn't happen overnight. So neither does like the huge success of coaching. But if you focus on those 2 really important elements and try not to get overwhelmed by the rest of it, I think you'll find the success that you're looking for comes over time. That's what helps me. That's what helps me anyway. Okay, I'm going to stop share. And then if there's any questions, I'm going to stop share, and I'm going to stop the recording here.